Somebody stole my name. No, seriously, somebody took my legal government name and is holding it for ransom. And what's worse is that there's almost nothing I can even do about it. Let me show you. This is ElijahLemard.com.
Hello, hello, hello.
It's pretty empty here, but somebody owns it, and the owner's not me. I also don't own .net, .info, or even .org, which is crazy, because do I look like an organization to you? I mean, I guess it could be worse. It could be filled with hot singles in my area, or testosterone pills, or Something about this really bothers me, because this wasn't just some other Elijah Lemard buying up his own name as a domain to start a photography business or whatever people do with their own websites. Oh no, this was a calculated attempt by an unknown party to extort my money by leveraging my own name. So join me to see how this is even legal, who profits from it, discover my conspiracy about the bigger picture, and find out why your name might just be next. This is me setting up my very first backdrop in my little apartment in Portland, where I would later record the commentary for my first ever video on this platform. I was so proud and nervous and excited to post that video, and just 2 weeks after I posted the video, it went crazy. I was getting contacted by all kinds of agencies and people who wanted me to do stories for them, and an unbelievable amount of scams, even for me. And you know what? Sometimes when I cross a monumental moment in my life, I like to reflect on what else was happening in the world at that same time. June 5th, 2024, the world's only surviving horse returns to Kazakhstan for the first time in 200 years. The Boston Celtics defeat the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals, but no worry, Dallas fans, I'm sure you're gonna have Luka for a very long time. And then, oh, what's this? Oh, some cyber squatting mother piece of shit. Yeah, somebody bought my name as a domain, which alone is crazy enough, but getting it back would prove to be an almost impossible task. And I didn't even realize it at first. I mean, how would I? I wasn't thinking about domains or IP or anything like that. I was just trying to make videos that I thought were pretty good. But as soon as I started thinking about my own website and expanding my own brand, it was already too late. I recently launched a newsletter, and when I was looking into how to set that up, I was researching domains and like different websites I could host things on. And in that process, I realized that ElijahLemard.com was already taken, which I thought was pretty strange because I don't really have the most common name. I mean, never once in my entire life have I ever had any issue getting my own name as a handle on like Instagram or YouTube or anything else. It's not like I'm Elijah Lemard. So when I found out it was already taken, I was really curious to see what was on, and it turns out that it's nothing. It's literally just an empty landing page. I tried using the Wayback Machine, but there's no historical data of the site ever being up and functioning. So that's why I feel like maybe I can get it back. I mean, I have a purpose for it now. And I asked a lot of people. I talked to a couple of experts, and it seems like everybody agrees that the starting point is this Who Is website. So apparently if I type in the URL and hit search, I can see a whole bunch of information about the person who bought it. And yeah, wow, that is a lot of information. It looks like it was originally registered with GoDaddy around 500 days ago on June 26th, 2024. June 26th. You can see this very narrow spike for when my video was popping off. That can't be a coincidence. And it was renewed exactly 1 year and 1 day later, so I guess I missed my little window. But that does mean whoever bought it is still active. It's also registered to an organization called Domains by Proxy. I'm gonna look a little bit more into Domains by Proxy. Okay, so they're actually owned by GoDaddy. Domain by Proxy is just a shield to protect the owner's identity, which makes sense. And it looks like .com, .net, .org, and .info are all taken, but hey, I can still do .biz or .us, so that's pretty cool. It still feels really strange though, because I can't help but feel like the timing of it really points to it being somebody going after my name specifically. But if that's the case, why haven't they done anything with the website? And I don't see how I'm supposed to contact them. I mean, it's all blocked by proxies. But I did find this domain holder contact request form, which apparently will reach out to whoever bought it for me. I guess I'll submit this and see what happens. Hey, so spoiler alert, never heard back from sending in that request form. Which is weird, right? Because if they did buy it in order to hold it until I wanted to pay for it, you'd think that they'd, I don't know, sell it to me. It's been over a month since I first requested and I've heard nothing back. Which honestly gives me a little bit of anxiety. Because they could put anything on that website. They can make it look legit, like it's my website, and try to scam people with it, or worse, it could become a Boston Celtics fan page. Which made me wonder, how is this legal in the first place, and how do the people who own that website have more protections than me, the person with the name? Well, I did some digging and I found some pretty interesting things. If whoever did buy the domain bought it with the sole purpose of sitting on it like it's some Pokemon cards, just hoping that they'd appreciate and value one day, they're probably trying to tiptoe a very fine line of this thing known as cyber squatting, which unlike normal squatting has a lot less Korean dramas about the topic. So cyber squatting is essentially when somebody buys a domain that they don't own the brand or identity for, usually in an attempt to flip it for some money. Like if I were to, I don't know, purchase the rights to something like scamazon.com and try to make it look as close to Amazon as possible, hoping that somebody mistypes Amazon and accidentally comes to my malicious phishing website where I can steal your credit card information, which actually Yeah, we should write that down. That's a pretty good idea. And apparently this isn't even a new thing. Back in 1994, visionary, reportedly terrible person, and all-time scamming goat, Dennis Topman, registered over 200 domains that were very similar to well-known companies or established trademarks. Now, unfortunately, his plan wasn't all smooth sailing because he was actually sued by a lot of the companies that he registered domains for, eventually leading to the Anti-Cybersquatting Consumer Protection Act, which essentially just makes the whole concept of cybersquatting illegal. But legal or not, that didn't stop the goat from making over $2 million off of the domains that he registered, and opening the door to a type of underground market that I think still very much exists today. I mean, look at this. Look at the prices of these domains. You can get maestro.com for the low price of only 16 million euros. That's almost 19 million USD. What a steal. Or you could even put an offer in for books.ai, which in this case, AI stands for the Islands of Antigua, not artificial intelligence. Just a fun fact. Or you could put an offer in for Addict, Tobacco, or Respect.com. But who cares about addiction or respect? I think I'm a little bit more of a fan of Pollute.com. So let's see how much it would take to put an offer in on, oh my God, only $25,000, and it's catchy. Thanks, Dave. Wait a minute, what's this? ElijahLemard.com is taken, but we might still be able to get it for you. For a broker service fee of $100? Okay. It's your name, own it, lock in your matching Elijah Lemard name before someone else does? Well, that's the whole problem. Apparently this is my best option, to hire a broker. I mean, I guess at this point, that's all I can really do. After somebody bought my name to presumably hold it like GameStop stock, I went on this digital deep dive about my online identity. Like, was it a bad idea to launch a channel using my full government name? Maybe, probably, actually almost definitely. Because while this whole domain thing has been mostly harmless so far, it made me start thinking about all the parts of my online identity that aren't. My IP address, my data, my location, my best friend who I talk about beans with. Upon further investigation, it seems that that was not my friend and in fact was something known as a scam. Which is what made me realize I should probably stop browsing the internet the way raccoons approach a garbage can. Fearlessly and without any protection. Which brings me to the partner of today's video, NordVPN. NordVPN has an entire arsenal of tools designed to keep your digital identity safe, like Threat Protection Pro, which blocks phishing sites, malicious ads, malware traps, and all sorts of sketchy digital content before you even have the chance to step into it. And listen, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I love scams, but I'm not currently trying to monetize off of a sketchy crypto rug pull. So when you get an email from 3elijahlemard.com, don't worry, NordVPN's fake shop detection will have you covered. And right now, with every purchase of a 2-year plan at nordvpn.com/Elijah, you'll get 4 bonus months on top. Because there are a lot of ways that the world interacts with our data. And NordVPN has a lot more than just a VPN to protect you. They also have a dark web monitor that scans the lesser visible parts of the internet and notifies you if your emails or passwords appear on some underground hacker marketplace. Which, let's be real, those websites you were using at 14 to deep dive your favorite creepypasta probably weren't as safe as you think that they were. So if you want to be ahead of the game, head to nordvpn.com/Elijah and try it completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So to protect your data and to safely watch your favorite shows from anywhere in the world, head to nordvpn.com/Elijah now. Thanks again to NordVPN for partnering with me on this video. Do it now! That's the first part of this whole mess. The second is that prior to 2018, domain records were like a public library. You could just walk in, open a book, and see exactly who owned ElijahLemard.com. It would show you their name, their home address, and probably even their favorite pizza topping. But then those pesky Europeans went and passed GDPR, which has kind of been described as a digital bill of rights. Because apparently people want this thing called privacy. Can you imagine? I love privacy. I want to be able to eat my jars of peanut butter by the spoon without people knowing that I prefer Jif over Skippy. Unfortunately for me though, these privacy laws make it a lot harder to contact whoever purchased the domain. And you know, it's still wild to me that this is even legal. After all, that is my name. And with the timeline of events, it's pretty apparent that this was done with malicious intent. I mean, they're actively paying for the rights to the website. It's not like it's free, which actually might be good for me. Because as I did my research, I kept running into the same phrase over and over again. Bad faith intent, which you can't do. You're not allowed to register domains with the sole purpose of profiting off of somebody else's trademark. I'm not a lawyer, so take this with a grain of salt, but this is my understanding of the law. In the domain world, in the trademark world, in every world really, your name is not you, right? It's a non-distinctive surname. To the US Patent and Trademark Office, I'm pretty much just a generic jar of peanut butter. Until I filled out the paperwork or sold enough jars to become distinctive. And since I haven't trademarked my name, I'm just another generic jar. Well, kind of. Remember that law we talked about? The Anti-Cybersquatting Consumer Protection Act? Well, any person who, with bad faith intent to profit from that mark, including a personal name which is protected as a mark under this section, registers, traffics in, or uses a domain name that is identical or confusingly similar to that mark, shall be liable in civil action by the owner of the mark. Well, that's like perfect, right? I think I have a decent case. I could probably file a lawsuit, but I'm not really about going to those courts and my pockets are not deep enough for federal anyway. Another option could be this thing UDRP, which is a protection for this exact type of situation registration. But to my understanding, without established trademark rights as of the date of registration, which is June 26, 2024, a UDRP case would be very difficult to win. Interestingly to me, when it comes to cyber squatting and trademark violations, they're only illegal after you become involved with legal work. So while those things are technically illegal and you really shouldn't do them, you technically could buy a website that is under a trademark through a registrar and they would never think twice. That is until somebody decides to sue you. So after all that, it feels like my only real options are either go the legal route or just go with my broker. Which made me wonder, could GoDaddy be in on this? Now this is no legal accusation, I don't make those, but hear me out. Back in 2008, one of the biggest registrars on the planet, Network Solutions, was caught in a little bit of an uh-oh situation when they were found out to be doing something very illegal. Back then there was this thing called the AGP, or the ad grace period. It was like a return policy for domains. You could register a domain, try it out for 5 days, and then kick it to the curb if you didn't like it. And in return, you get a full refund. And Network Solutions came up with a pretty good idea, if you ask me. They turned that return policy into a full-fledged scam. Truly some inspiring stuff. Whenever you search for a domain on their site, they would automatically buy the domain that you were looking at. So if you wanted to see how your potential site was priced on other registrar websites, you couldn't because it was already unavailable. And if you wanted it, you'd have to buy it through them at their price that they were protecting for you. Crazy, right? Well, ICANN thought so too, and they added a fee to that 5-day return policy, which essentially killed the entire scam. The practice, which is known as domain tasting, reportedly dropped from about 15 million domains a month to almost 0. And here's where my conspiracy comes in, because we're not in 2008 anymore. We have technology. And big data, whoever you are, might just be the villain of my story. GoDaddy has been accused and formally denied accusations of this thing called front running for many, many years. Front running essentially describes the idea that a registrar or a third party would be monitoring your activity in order to scoop up domains before you get the chance to, all in order to sell it to you at a higher price than you could have got it for. Now again, GoDaddy's denied this for many years, and I actually don't think that they're doing that. It'd become way too easy to track and also way too legally messy. But I do think it's possible that they or somebody else has built a somewhat more legal version of the same trap by pimping out our modern privacy laws. Domain privacy services like Domain by Proxy, which is owned by GoDaddy, allow registrants to just go ghost. I mean, that's the point of a proxy, right? To keep your privacy secured. Which again, is a good thing. Privacy is good. But it could also be used as a shield for trend sniping. They're AI scripts, little code vultures, that according to CyberAngel try to predict keywords, automatically register upcoming brand name combinations, and any trending names. They're essentially designed to be domain squatters, which is technically a little bit different than cyber squatting, but it's the same idea. And in 2023, there were a record number of domain name cases filed with WIPO. It's a UN agency for IP policy. That's evidence enough to show that cyber squatting and domain squatting is very much a real problem today. So I do think it's possible that after my video broke the 1 million view benchmark, a bunch of hungry bots saw me as a tasty treat. And the true owners of these sites are just scrap emails registered through an automated process, all hiding behind shell entities and proxies, just so registrars like GoDaddy can step in with a solution. Again, I'm not saying they're doing this, but it would be pretty possible for a bunch of bots to be hosted, a proxy company to be made, all so that they can funnel you into their brokers that cost $100, so that those brokers can help you by negotiating with someone that you can never reach. Besides revenue, why would they do any of this? Well, I think I have it figured out. I think it's personal. Did you know that GoDaddy's only called GoDaddy because the name they actually wanted, which, brace yourself, Big Daddy, was actually already taken? I mean, think about it. The biggest registrar on the planet had to change their name that they wanted because it was already taken by somebody else. What if they're petty like me? And this whole thing's just been one silent get back because Bob Parsons, GoDaddy's CEO, was told no daddy to him becoming Big Daddy. Then again, for any of that to even be possible, like my broker probably would have got back to me pretty quickly with an offer, and that didn't happen. He asked me if I'd like to adjust my price range, but I don't really want to spend over $1,000 on a website that I might never even use like that. So GoDaddy, you're welcome for the broker fee. But if I can't really do anything, I'm a little bit stuck. There's no one to reach out to and nothing I can really do to track down the owner of that website. So I guess I'll just have to pivot. Introducing 3LijahLemard.com, a totally legit site that will teach you how to scam your way to the top. If you go there now, that's right now, today only, you can get my course for only $9,999.99. That's a huge discount. And why choose us? Well, why not? This website's up and running right now, so head over and get your course. Also, if the person who did buy the domain is out there somewhere, just know that my search has only just begun. Anyway, I am still interested in buying it back, so hit me up. Also, shout out to Melissa, Queegee, Carl, Bitcore, Nate, Ben, Dakota, Teal, Head, Nidoran, Dog, Harmony, Amara, Thomas, Tasty, Logan, Zan, All That Large, Mike, Conrad, Heather. Thank you so much for the support. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. And also, I just opened up a P.O. box, so if you want to send me something, go ahead. Info in the description. Bye.